Hi, welcome to Positively Sparking, a podcast on internet marketing, online productivity and business. Today I'm with expert VA and client manager at Positive Sparks, Joe Harrison, and we're going to chat through our favourite apps for the month of July. Hey Joel, how are you doing?
Hi Phil, I'm good thanks, how are you?
Not bad. We've just been chatting about how tired we both are because we've got so much on.
Yes. Yes, very busy. We won't have time for these podcasts soon.
Oh, we always have to make time. That's our commitment to the world.
To the world, okay.
To the world, indeed. So it's favourite apps of the month time. Do you want to kick off, Joe? Go straight into your first one?
Yeah, I will do. Okay, so this month I've not really had a lot of time to look at apps. A couple of weeks ago or last week I was, because we use Slack together, we use Slack a lot, I decided to try and find some apps which integrate with Slack to see if any can make our lives a bit easier. And so the two apps that I'm going to speak about today are both integrations with Slack, but they're also separate apps as well. Well, the one I'm going to speak to about now is a separate app as well, and that's called Presence. And it's spelled Presense.
Okay.
And it's basically it's for iOS, so it's iPhone related, so it's not available on everything. But as I am an Apple user, and I know you are, it's I'm speaking about this. And what it is basically is it shares your availability to your contacts. So, for example, on email, it will share my availability, so my contacts can easily see when I'm available and when I'm not available. And it also shares my availability in Slack. And I'm not sure whether you've noticed the little red dot that's been coming up against my name occasionally.
I've seen that, and I also saw a palm tree when you were on holiday.
Yes, I put my palm tree up when I went on holiday. With the red dot is actually means that I'm not available. So this app, which I've downloaded to my iPhone and done, sort of gone into the settings, and it's linked to my calendar. So I've linked it to my Google Calendar. So every time I have an appointment, it changes my availability on Slack to not available.
Interesting. I'm liking this already.
Yeah. And it also shows it on my email. So sometimes when I'm in my email, I'm thinking, why is that red dot on there? I keep forgetting that I've set it up. So it's actually so people can, possibly not every email software will show it, but obviously I use Mac Mail, it's coming up. And it also works for WhatsApp as well. Apparently, I've not managed to get it to work yet on WhatsApp, but it is supposed to work. So it's brilliant, and as long as you've got all your appointments in your calendar, then it should work. It should work really well.
So as we're talking now, recording the podcast, I'm just looking at Slack. So I thought, okay, I'm going to look at Slack because Joe is, in every sense, not available.
Not available.
And you've got a red dot beside you, and I have seen that, and I didn't know it meant you weren't available. So I've just been messaging you anyway.
Well, it actually puts me to away as well, so you can see that I'm not actually active on there. And what I really want to try and do, and I will have a look, is to see if I can set it up with all the different Slack channels that we're in rather than just ours, because obviously we use Slack with some clients, and it would be nice to have it in there as well, but I'm not sure whether it's going to integrate with more than one account, so we'll see.
I see. That's a great question, because it would be great if you could show when you're available to all clients, as it would be for me too.
Exactly. And I can invite you on here as well. So I can invite you to the app so that you can share your availability with me. So we'll always be able to share it together, even if no one else can see it.
Got you. I like that one. And all this time, I've just thought you've had like a cherry beside your name or something.
Yeah, well, it took me a while. I mean, I can change it. You can customize it to be something else. But I mean, what shows that you're unavailable? I thought a red dot was probably most appropriate.
Or like you need a hand. Like speak to the hand.
That's I can probably put a hand. I think you can probably use many of the emoticons. So I'll change it and see which one you prefer.
Well, now I know. So I'm definitely going to try that one. I like that one.
Exactly. I will invite you.
So if people aren't fortunate enough to be shared into this application by you, where can they find it?
Okay, so you can find it in the App Store, the iTunes App Store, or the website is www.mypresence.net. And presence is spelt with an S at the end rather than a C, because there is another app called Presence which has a C rather than an S.
Ah, there we go. Important difference.
Yeah.
Does it only work with Slack, or does it work with other similar tools as well?
As far as I know, it's only Slack and your text, your instant messaging and email. So I don't know. I mean, I guess that they may bring in extra integrations into it. But as far as I would use it, it's mainly for Slack. That's what I was looking for it for. So and the mail and WhatsApp and stuff is even better, really.
Definitely so. This is going to bring me on to a question further on in the podcast. So we'll come back to this point.
Okay.
About whether it works with other things or not.
Okay.
Okay, great stuff. So I'm going to go on to something called Keyword Revealer.
Okay.
Which is another keyword research tool.
You like your research tools?
I do like these. I think it's because keyword research is such a faffy thing to do that I'm always attracted to people suggesting different ways that their application can do it.
Yeah.
And this one I kind of like. It's really developed more for SEO than pay-per-click, but every keyword research tool out there will bring data for both, whether it's pay-per-click or SEO focus. So what's nice about Keyword Revealer is we can put in a seed keyword. It will do what every keyword research tool does, where it'll search Google's database and pull back all kinds of suggestions based on that, give you the cost per click, the number of searches per month, all those things we expect. But where it becomes really nice is we can then filter.
Yeah.
And it's the filtering within the application that I really like. So if we're looking around a certain keyword and we only want to find versions of it that also have the word red in, we can filter by that word and we have a nice short list. And as you've learned on pay-per-click, where keyword research differs for pay-per-click is it's sometimes about less keywords than more.
Yeah.
Because
definitely.
we have this thing called broad modified and different ways of targeting keywords. So that's where it's worked out for me. And you've had a go on it too. What did you think?
I have. I liked it, but I would definitely prefer something simpler.
Okay.
I liked it, but I think with any keyword research, you just end up with quite a lot of stuff that's probably not relevant. And that's what I find frustrating about keyword research in whatever tool you're using, that you always end up with things. I mean, the filter is good in that sense.
Yeah, I think you're so right. I think it does end up giving you more than you need, and within this great breadth of data is actually what you're after, but it's up to you to find it.
Exactly.
And that's why I like Keyword Revealer, because of the filters, because they definitely help. But obviously there's room for something else by what you're saying.
There is. I may have to look for my own keyword research tool.
I think that'd be good. That's definitely an idea.
And find one that I like.
So if anyone does want to give that one a go, it's keywordrevealer.com. Nice and simple.
Cool. Easy.
There we are. So what's your next app, Joe? Another one in Slack, I believe.
Yep, this is another Slack one. And I wish I'd found it sooner, actually. I found it really good. It's called Mail Clerk. And you can use it in Slack, but you can also use it in Microsoft Teams. If anyone uses Microsoft Teams, I have never heard of that, and I've never used it. So.
Me neither.
Yeah, and basically Mail Clerk is an integration, which means you can have your emails sent to a Slack channel, an inbox in Slack channel, which means you can, for example, we could collaborate on an inbox, so an email account. Say your hello@positivesparks.com comes into a shared mailbox. You can deal with the emails in Slack. So you can reply to emails in there. We can have conversations about an email if it pops in there, that sort of thing, which I find really quite good. I had it set up in my owner Slack account, and I chose completely the wrong email address to to forward into it, because I ended up with so much spam in there, because I keep forgetting how much spam I get. But it is really useful because you can reply directly in Slack. So you could just spend all day in Slack and have all your emails coming in there.
Now, that is really interesting.
Yeah.
That is nice.
It's, I think, for collaborating with somebody else that's in Slack, for example, if we had emails coming from clients, we could both then talk about that email in Slack. I think that would work really well. Maybe not necessarily reply, but then why not? The other thing that MailClerk does is integrate with your Twitter and Facebook as well. So when I get mentions on my Twitter, they go directly into a Slack channel, and I can again reply directly from Slack to my Twitter mentions. Really
good.
Yeah. Very and good. Also Facebook. I've tested Facebook briefly with my page. So when someone sends you a direct message in Facebook on your page, then it will come into Slack and you can reply to it there. So that's really useful actually, because personally I don't necessarily get notifications for messages in my Facebook sometimes, and it's really annoying. But if it's going into Slack, then I'm going to see it.
So I've got loads of questions on this, because
okay.
all those features sound fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So first thing, we receive our emails in Slack, and we can reply from them within Slack.
Yeah.
If we use an email signature, what happens?
I did check out email signatures, and I think that's a paid-for part of MailClerk.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think if you, it's $9 a month per inbox, and custom domains and signatures are included in that. For the free version, you can't use a signature.
Got you. Okay, question answered. Nice and simple. If you shared it with me, and one of your emails came in to that channel, and I replied to it, what would happen?
You mean an email just for me and not for you?
Yes, let's say, there's an email for you, and you shared this channel with me because it's a client that we're working on together, and I kind of answer the email in Slack, in a Slack post. Would that then go to the client as an email reply?
Yes, it would.
Okay.
Well, how it works is you'd have to, if you wanted to comment on it, I think you have to comment. There's like a separate section where you comment. And then what it does is it'll ask you. So if you put a message underneath it, it'll ask you, do you want to send this by email? So it gives you an option rather than it going straight out. So it may say, I've not tried email because I've been emailing myself. It's not been easy. You've got an option, so it's not easy to send an email reply by just replying to what's come in, if you see what I mean.
I do. Yeah, I do. Got you. And
Good.
Is that the same with Facebook messages, Twitter messages, whatever may integrate?
It comes up saying, do you want to send this tweet? Let me just have a look at an example. The tweet comes in, and then it says, reply, new channel, reply here, or delete. And then you put the reply, and then it asks you whether you want to send it.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. It's all very easy.
It sounds it. So how much is this helping you on a daily basis? Because you get lots of messages.
Well, I've only been using it with Twitter, really, with my mentions, and it's been really useful because it means I'm not having to open Twitter every time I get a notification. I can just answer it in Slack. The only thing you can't do is just like a tweet. Sometimes you just you want to like it rather than reply, so you can only just reply, or you can't retweet from Slack either. So they're the only downsides. But as far as I'm concerned, if everything's going to be in Slack, it's saving me a bit of time. And I think the email side of it would definitely work if we were wanting to reply to the same emails.
Definitely. So that last sentence you said there, being able to do everything in Slack, is that where you find yourself progressing?
Maybe. But as you know, I found something else which could be a competitor to Slack.
You have, and that was going to be my next question.
Yeah, so I'm not going to mention the name yet because this may be on another podcast. So yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Slack for the moment is good. If this other app that I found works better, and has similar integrations, then maybe not Slack. But so far, Slack is the future.
There we go.
But we may need to tidy up our channels a little bit. It's getting a bit full.
It is. That's maybe the one area. That's what you find with Slack, isn't it? It just grows.
Yeah, it's growing quite a lot. So we probably need to discuss how we can organise it. As you know, I am a very organised person.
Indeed so, and I'm glad you are, because I am not. So coming back to that alternative that you've discovered, one thing that seems really difficult for me is that Slack is so well known that everything wants to integrate with it. It's a bit like MailChimp in email software platforms.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Therefore a new competitor has that as a big issue.
Yeah, and I looked at it today, and they do have some integrations already. So Todoist, obviously, is integrated, and Zapier, or Zapier, as you pronounce it, which obviously integrates with absolutely everything. So if you can, if we can use Zapier, then that may work. And obviously, all the integrations with Slack may or may not, depending on how well this new app does, move over as well. Who knows?
There we are. So you've like told Slack they are the future, and they're in danger in the same podcast.
Well, I don't think they're in danger anytime soon, because now, especially since I found these two good apps for Slack, we'll continue using it, and we can. The one thing in the new thing that I found is using threads, which you can use in Slack, and maybe that's something we need to move forward with, is start using threads more. Yeah. So
great stuff. We shall see. We shall see, and we'll keep everyone informed.
Yeah, and they'll all be in suspense now because I've not told them what it is.
Exactly. Have to tune in next month.
You will.
Great stuff. Well, from there, I'm going to take us right back to the seemingly boring world of data, but this is something that's going to not make it boring.
Okay.
So, do you remember in one of our podcasts last autumn, we covered a Facebook tool by an organisation called Aribi?
It rings a bell.
It rings a bell. It was a Facebook advertising tool.
Okay.
And what it did, what I liked about it, is it gave you great insights into who was responding to your ads, which would then help you target them even more effectively. And now you're an expert in Facebook ads. It would have been so much more meaningful to you. But anyway, Aribi stopped that tool, probably because Facebook increased their insights and most of the data they provided you with was suddenly available on the Facebook platform itself. What they've done instead is created quite a cool Google Analytics Insights tool.
Oh, okay.
So what you do with Aribi now is you connect your Google Analytics account, and it takes all that data and shows you all these little insights which really help you see quite clearly what's making the difference in people taking the actions that you want. So when I say taking the actions that you want, these are the things that you set up as goal conversions.
Okay.
So if it's an e-commerce site, it might be buying things, it might be turnover, e-commerce value. But if you're a site that looks to generate leads, then it could be email form signups or ebook downloads, whatever your target is.
Yeah. Okay.
And whereas analytics is such a big tool and a fantastic tool, if you don't have the time to look into it in depth, or even the time to learn how to look into it in depth, there's this new surge of artificial intelligence tools which are coming onto the market, which help you see clearly what you need to focus more time on in your marketing and what's not working out for you. And Ariba is one of the best ones.
Okay.
So if anyone out there wants some insights on their web marketing and their web traffic, just sign up. And the great thing about Ariba right now is because it's so new, it's free.
Oh, cool.
So the best price in the world.
Yeah.
So you can just go along. The site is aribi.io. It's oribi.io. Sign up, connect your analytics account. Ariba then takes you through a process of you tell it which conversions you're most interested in. So sometimes we have lots of conversions set up in analytics, and we choose 3 if we have 10 or however many number. If you're a brand new site and you just have 1, that's fine. You just tell Ariba you want to focus on this 1 conversion. And then what Ariba does is it starts to tell you which web marketing channels are having the best effect for you, or what type of person, because analytics has hidden within it demographic data.
Yeah.
So Ariba will bring up things like that as well.
Excellent.
And show them to you. So great little tool.
Yeah, brilliant.
So if you have a site, Joe, maybe your own site, that you just want to get a little bit of insight into, it's quite cool. What it does over time, so after 2 weeks or so, it'll start to give you trend data. So because it's been watching your site for ongoing days, it can now say, okay, this Monday underperformed the last 2 Mondays by this %. And this part of your marketing was the difference.
Okay, cool.
So I actually saw that for one of our clients last week, where they'd had a great first week in July, and the second week was not as hot. And the big difference was actually conversions from emails.
Yeah.
And to see that very clearly shown without looking into the data,
yeah, exactly.
Huge time saver.
Yeah, time saving again.
Absolutely. That's what most of these tools are about, isn't it? It's giving us time back, because that's what web marketing, the biggest cost of web marketing is time.
Exactly. As we know this week.
As we know this week, indeed.
Yeah.
So cool. What's going to be your app of the month, Joe?
Well, my app of the month is going to be Mail Clerk, and I didn't give you the web address, so I'll give you that now. You didn't ask me. It's mailclerk.ai, which is a weird domain, but and also I forgot to mention that they're a startup company in France, in Lyon.
Oh wow! So how far is that from you?
Oh, Lyon, miles away. It's over the other side. It's kind of probably about, I don't know, 600 kilometres away.
Okay. So if they invite you in for coffee, it's a long way to...
Well, I could probably get the train, or it depends if they paid for it and things. I've always fancied going to Lyon, so...
Does .ai stand for artificial intelligence?
Possibly.
I think it might.
Maybe we can ask them on Twitter.
Why not? Let's do that. So yours is Mail Clerk. Mine's going to be Ariba.
Okay, cool.
I just think it's a great new step into this artificial intelligence, that word again, world for analytics.
Yeah,
and I'm sure
that sounds good.
There'll be a few more of those, I think, across the next few months. So we'll see which one turns out to be the best in 6 months' time.
Excellent. I will wait with bated breath.
Thank you so much as ever, Joe.
And you, Phil.
Have a great evening.
And you. Speak soon.
My name is Phil Byrne, and I'd like to thank you so much for listening today. I hope you got something really good to take away from this week's episode for you or your business. And you know what? I'd like to give you something more. In fact, I'd like to give you a whole free web marketing pack full of all my latest and best ideas on how you can take your business forward positively online. Download your pack at positivesparks.co.uk/pack, and most of all, guys, look forward to seeing you again next week.